Brought to you by the Every Dollar app. Start budgeting for free today.
Normal is broke and common sense is weird. So we're here to help you transform your life. From the Ramsey Network in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio, this is The Ramsey Show. And I'm Rachel Cruze, hosting this hour with my good friend and co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour, George Kamel. And we'll be answering your calls, so give us a call at 888-825-5225. And we'll be talking about your life and your money. First up, we have Jimmy in Los Angeles. Hi, Jimmy. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Rachel. Hey, George. Big fan of y'all's. Thank you so much for what you do. I really appreciate everything that you guys do. And I've gained a lot of knowledge these past few weeks, learning more about what you guys do and how to kind of like financially plan my future.
Yep.
But I've kind of gotten myself into a sticky situation, and I'm just trying to see if I can like maybe get some guidance on trying to find a way out.
Sure. So what's going on?
So late 2024, I retired from the military. I served for 22 years, and earlier that year, I decided to open up like a kind of like a shop, and where we just do like detail services, paint protection film, wraps, and things like that. And it actually cost me a lot of money throughout that year.
I'm sure. How much?
To the point. We're at a point now where we're like $580,000 in debt at this point.
Okay.
That first year we took like a $220,000 loss. Admittedly, I think I hired too many people full time. Kind of went in too fast and too hard on that.
Yeah.
And it kind of really hurt me. So I had to take like an SBA loan to kind of get caught up, and used a bunch of credit cards. And then the year after, we netted, so just last year, we netted about 35% net loss. So we had another net loss, but
Jeez.
It was a better net loss. And
you're still throwing money at this thing.
I'm still throwing money at this thing. I mean, it seems
Why?
like it seems like we're kind of like making a way out of that. And
I mean, what's the stop loss here? $1 million in debt, and then we'll call it quits? I mean, at some point, you just got to go, this ain't it. I would rather pack it up now versus try to – it's like a gambler where they lost a bunch of money in Vegas and they go back to go like, well, now I got to win even bigger to get out of this mess.
Right. That's what I was afraid of. And through this process, I kind of been, a free labor. So I haven't been getting paid by my business.
On top of that, how are you paying your bills? Through more debt?
Do
you have retirement through military?
I do.
Okay.
I do.
What's that per month?
My wife works too.
Okay.
I pull in about $5,500 take home per month from my military retirement,
and then what does she
makes
make?
She makes about like take home $4,500-ish per month.
Okay. So $10,000 a month is what we're taking home, and that's the hard truth. Is that's the number we need to actually pay down this over $500,000 in debt.
Right.
What does the trajectory look like for revenue?
It's looking positive because last year, like I said, even though we had a net loss, it was a smaller net loss, and I think this year we'll be in the positive. But I'm struggling because I've been working for free for 2 years essentially in this business.
Well, and digging deeper in debt. I mean, 35% loss. I mean, this is just a very expensive hobby at this point. This isn't a business.
Even if it breaks even, this isn't worth it.
No.
Right. Yeah. That's what I was afraid of.
Yeah. Jimmy, when you project out, what do you with all these loans? How much is it $500,000 now, or how much debt in general? I'm just trying to project out like what by I don't know in the next like month or two, like how much total debt are you guys in?
So I've written everything down. So as it stands right now, on the business side, we're at $580,000 in debt. I know I have a PhD and being a bozo.
How much of that's credit card and how much of that is small business loans?
So 165,000 of that is credit, and then the rest is split up between the SBA, working capital, and a line of credit.
Okay. Because I'm just thinking the credit cards, if you get behind, those will be easier to settle than some of these loans directly.
The SBA loan.
From the bank.
What does your wife think about this?
Right.
What does she think you should do?
She's not very happy with it, but she's been very supportive and very understanding throughout the process. So an absolute blessing to me. Definitely not an added stressor. She's been an anchor for me for sure.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit, Jimmy, but a part of me also is like, you guys aren't living in reality. Like, she should be kind of flipping out. Do you know what I mean? I'm like, I understand that the anchor of feeling supported, but you're feeling supported and doing something that's continually getting you guys deeper and deeper into a problem versus saying, stop where we are and we're done, because we can't just keep doing this. And the problem too is that the guesswork for what you're possibly going to do this year, you know what I mean? It's like you can't predict it. And so you guys either have to say, we're going to try to stick this out for a year with no more debt. No more debt. And if that means we have to close up parts of the business in order to do that, okay, to see if we can get some revenue in here. But you guys can't just keep digging yourselves in a hole and expect just to come out the other side.
Right. Very
so
true.
I would sit down and you guys, you either need to make a decision. If you were to stop this completely, do you guys have things that you can sell off in the business? Like, is there any way that you could gain any of this money back if you were to close shop today? From like a real estate perspective or like, you know what I mean?
Equipment you have in the business?
Yeah, I have about $50,000 worth of equipment, but I think that's tied up in the SBA loan. They would have to, I'd have to get permission to sell that off to pay that loan down.
Yeah.
And that's why I was like, worst case, I'd really want to avoid bankruptcy. It's definitely not my first choice. And I even thought about getting like a job, so I can just get some sort of income and then using that job to pay down this debt. But since it's a business, I don't really want to like create murky waters with me paying off business debt with my own personal income. But
it's all tied to you anyways, Jimmy.
Go back to the papers. Look who signed it.
It's you. Yeah. It's all, they're all going to come for you.
It's not like Car Detailer LLC. Well, they owe the money, not Jimmy.
Right.
It's guaranteed by you. And so that's the hard news is you have to now picture this like it's just consumer debt that you took on. And so you're going to begin the business of cleaning it up. And I hope that you can find a new job that can create a better income that will allow you to clean this up faster. But if you just even sell the $50,000 worth of equipment, that's 10% of your debt you just knocked out. And so you got to start making progress. I would not sink more money into this thing just to be $600,000 in debt, $650,000, and hope we have less of a net loss. Ugh, I'm heartbroken for you, man. Thank you for your service too. 22 years. That's incredible. I hope you guys can climb out of this. Dave, we got a lot of calls on this show where life happens. One day someone's healthy, they're working, providing for their family, and then a curveball hits.
We hear it all the time. A car accident, a cancer diagnosis, a heart attack, and suddenly everything changes.
Yeah, and that's why you've always said that having term life insurance from Xander is essential because it protects your family if the worst happens.
Yeah, that's right. You need 10 to 12 times your income in coverage. No gimmicks. No whole life junk, just straightforward term life protection. But there's another piece that people often overlook, and that's long-term disability insurance.
Yeah, it's important to understand the difference between them. Life insurance steps in when you die. Disability insurance steps in while you're alive but can't work. So it replaces a large part of your income so the bills still get paid while you get back on your feet.
Now, if your employer gives you free disability insurance, great, take it. If it's discounted there at a better price, take it. But if not, Xander can help you find the right plan. Whether you're single or married, it's not optional. If you're going to be out of work for a while, then you need to make sure the money's still showing up.
And that's why Xander is our go-to. They make it super simple to get the right coverage at the best price, no pressure, no upselling.
I've trusted Jeff Xander and Xander Insurance for over 25 years, and so has my family.
So don't wait. It's fast, it's easy, and it could make all the difference. Go to Xander.com or call 800-356-4282.
Protect yourself, protect your income, protect your family.
George is up next in Newark, New Jersey. George, welcome to the show. Are you with us?
Thank you. Sorry about that.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
What's going on?
How's it going, guys? Rocking and rolling. First off, you guys are awesome. I've been working with you all for maybe going on 2 years. About to be debt-free this year and everything like that, working with the Smart Vestor Pro in Maryland. So.
Oh, good.
Fantastic.
Amazing.
I had a quick question for you. Hopefully this is your area of expertise. If not, then hopefully you can guide me in the right direction. Before I was working with you all, I was ignorant to a lot of stuff. So I had got mixed up back in maybe 2016 with a guy from my gym. Long story short, he was running an LLC or supposedly, and I was investing into a high interest savings account.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, I got scammed. Long story short, he got me for $38,000.
Oh no!
And then I hired lawyers and everything like that. So all in all, I was out maybe about $45,000.
Oh my gosh, George!
Awful.
I'm so sorry. Was it like a Ponzi scheme kind of thing, or or he would take your money and invest, or put it somewhere else, thinking he would make a difference, and then he ended up not and lost all your money?
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Man, I'm
so
sorry.
Again, this is before I met you guys. I wish I would have met you guys sooner, but that's done. So it's kind of a thorn in my side because I'm trying to figure out whether I should continue going after him because I already went to court. We already got the judgment. He didn't show up and everything like that. He got served and everything. But the thing is, I had to learn about the law because the judgment is just basically
Piece of paper
right now because he got rid of all of exactly.
If he doesn't have assets,
he got rid of all of. Yep.
Doesn't have income you can garnish. There's not much they can do.
Basically, that's basically what I wanted to
When you say
know.
you've been
Anybody
chasing him for
else
4
had-
years, who has actually been the person trying to track him down and get him to pay?
I hired a debt collection company, and then at first it was free and everything like that because if they get paid, I get paid kind of deal. But then after maybe a year or two, then they asked me if I wanted to increase some kind of excuse they gave me, and it was another $2,000 or whatever. I think to push stuff forward because this is during the pandemic.
Yeah.
So to push paperwork for it, and so that added to the money that I'm out. And I wanted to see if you guys think I should just count it as a loss or just because without assets, now that I know that, it's just
Yeah, that's my fear. Is you spend $25,000 chasing this guy down, and then it turns out you don't get a dime from him. Well, now you just lost another $25,000. So it may be time to emotionally write this off and call it a stupid tax and move on.
Yeah.
If it's been 4 years, I mean, this is weighing on you. It's living rent free in your head, and I think it's time to move on.
Oh yeah.
People do all kinds of dumb moves and lose $40,000. I went in $40,000 in consumer debt back in the day, and so I'm going to chalk it up to a life lesson that was hard to learn, and never let it happen again.
Got you. Okay. I figured that.
I'm so sorry, man.
Sorry, George.
I'm like when I'm like a dog who's like, I want to get this guy.
You want justice, right?
I want to go full John Wick, man.
exactly.
But at some point,
And it was $38,000. It's not $3,800. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
Yep.
But the crazy thing is I do think once you emotionally kind of just get over it, right? You detach and you're like, okay, I am moving on. You start to really, really see what you can do and what you have the power to do, as you're experiencing now on baby step 2, George. Like, you're getting yourself out of debt. Like, that money will come back, right? Like, you will be able to turn all this around, but it's just emotionally having just to let it go, which sucks.
Sorry you're dealing with that.
That
But
makes sense.
maybe this will get you debt-free faster. If you allocate all of your energy and focus and resources towards that, I think you'll feel a whole lot better, and it'll be a fun story you share with your kids one day when you're a multimillionaire.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. That
Best
sounds
of
good
luck,
to me.
my friend. Oh, that's brutal. Rachel, that reminds me when I got scammed long ago. Fraud happened. People opened up AT&T accounts, Verizon accounts under my name, social security number, past address.
Horrible.
Racked up $1,700 on both accounts, never paid a dime. And so I had to deal with that. And luckily I had Xander ID theft. And so they stepped in and helped clean this mess up.
Yep.
But I found who the people were because I was a sleuth.
You found who it was, like the individuals?
Yeah. And
No
I really
way.
wanted to go full, wishbone on the case and go, I'm going to investigate. I'm going to bring them to justice. And then I just
Hardy
I'm like,
boys.
what am I doing? What am I doing?
Just Nancy Drew.
I don't know how
Nancy Drew.
dangerous these women are.
Yeah. Was it women?
It was 2 women.
No way.
Still have their names.
Here, like in America?
They were in
Were they-
Boston, in the Boston area. I lived in Tennessee at the time, but they
Stop
opened these
it.
accounts up in Boston. So
George.
yeah, there you go. I'll leave that for future investigations.
That's right.
But goodness gracious,
Amazing.
it's hard. It's a hard pill to swallow when it happens. All right, Dominic is in South Bend up next. Dominic, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
What's going on?
So I've heard you guys speak about zero credit score and buying houses with manual underwriting.
Mhm.
I purchased a home years before hearing about you, so having a zero credit score when buying my next one won't be an option.
Sure, you have a
What?
credit score now due to your mortgage payment.
Correct. Is that alone going to be enough to maintain a good enough score? Or
Yes.
what's the...
Have you made your mortgage payments on time?
Yeah, that's...
Great. You
All
likely
good
have
there.
a great score. So there's no need
Yeah.
to open up new credit accounts and credit cards to try to increase it. When you go to get another mortgage, they're just going to look at yours and go, okay, is your debt to income ratio good? Do you have a history of on-time payments? And they'll grant you that. So have you checked your credit score? Is it in the tank or is it solid?
No, it's solid. I wasn't sure if just a mortgage alone would be enough in the future
Yes.
or if they needed more history.
No, you'll be good. And if you ever have questions about it, you can always contact, Churchill Mortgage, and they can walk you through what they actually look for. But the score is the score. That's what they're looking for. And so they're not going to say, well, you don't have enough types of debt. That's all factored into your score. And so if your score is solid, you're going to be fine. And once you pay off the mortgage, then 6 to 12 months after that, your credit score will disappear again.
Okay.
So you'll go
makes
back
sense.
through that process. But you're on the path, man. Good for you. How long until you pay off the house?
I don't think I'll pay it off.
Not with that
While I live
attitude,
there.
Dominic. What's left on the
it's
mortgage?
my first home.
Okay.
I still owe $160 on it.
Okay.
Because you're saying you'll probably move houses before
Yeah.
you paid off. Gotcha.
Yep.
Gotcha. Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, no, but it's a good question because we do talk about people not having to worship at the altar of, the credit, the FICO score, the credit score, because you can actually get a house called, through manual underwriting. But if you have a bad credit score and you go and apply for a mortgage, they're going to pull your credit score regardless.
That will hurt you.
Yes. If you have one that's undetermined, then you can do manual underwriting. But if you have a bad credit score when you go and get a mortgage, and as you're getting out of debt, George, for a lot of people, consumer debt, your score will lower as you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
as you're starting to get out.
That's how stupid the credit score game is.
That's
You're like,
what-
wait, I'm doing good things. I'm knocking out debt. And they're
Yes.
like, yeah, but we don't like that.
I know.
We'd rather you keep
We're
it
gonna
around
penalize
and pay
you.
it perfectly.
Yeah, so on baby step 2, you guys, if you're paying off your debt and then you try to go and get a mortgage, which is not part of the, that's baby step 3B, but if you try to do it earlier and they pull your credit score, it may not be great because you're paying off your debt, your consumer debt.
But
So
very few
remember that.
people, and they always go, well, what about once I'm out of debt? I'm like, well, then you still need to save up your emergency fund and then
Yep.
still save up your down payment. And so you're talking potentially years of not having a score, which
That's
is
right.
fine. So your credit score will not be in the tank as long as you actually close all accounts.
Yes.
If you still have any accounts open or you still have a credit card open, that will show up on your credit report and keep your credit score alive. And so
right.
make sure when you pull that credit report, nothing is active. And then 6 to 12 months later, there's no real exact timeline, but that's what I've experienced and many that I've talked to. your credit score just becomes indeterminable. It doesn't actually go to zero.
Yeah, it's not actually technically a zero credit score.
We just like to say that because it sounds cool.
It's fun.
Zero. What's your credit score? Zero.
Zero. I don't have one.
That's the real flex. And that's honestly how they operated back in the day, like in our parents' day. The credit score has only existed since the 90s. So before then, you're like, well, how did people get homes? Well, they looked at your actual tax return. You got a relationship with the bank. And they looked at your income and savings. And they went, okay.
Your other bills to
here's a
see if
mortgage.
you pay on time. If you're a trustworthy borrower that they can lend money to. Like, they looked at you as a person, which is what manual underwriting does anyways.
Instead of the computers going, good credit score, give them a loan. And so it's really not that difficult. I've done it myself. I'm alive to tell the tale. So it's worth pursuing to become completely debt-free and then do it the right way.
At Ramsey, we don't partner with companies chasing trends or pushing gimmicks. Trust is earned, and that's why we send people to Fairwinds Credit Union. See, a lot of banks rely on teaser rates, marketing hype, and fine print, but that's not how Fairwinds operates. They've been serving members for 75 years, and you don't last that long by cutting corners. You last by serving people well. There's a reason their name is on the studio wall. They've built products that help you manage money intentionally, not pull you into debt. If you're looking for a practical way to organize your money the Ramsey way, check out the Fairwinds Smart Bundle. It pairs a high-yield savings account for your emergency fund with a checking account that doesn't drain your balance with fee after fee after fee after fee. Open your Fairwinds Smart Bundle today at fairwinds.org/Ramsey and get the Ramsey Be Weird debit card. That's fairwinds.org/Ramsey.
Insured by the NCUA. Trina is in Florida up next. Trina, welcome to the Ramsey Show. How can we help today?
Hi, I'm so excited, you guys.
We're excited as well.
We're glad you called, Trina. We're excited to talk to you.
Okay, guys, I'm having this issue. I always said I wanted to retire by the time I was 40. I am almost 40.
Wow.
And
it's an aggressive plan.
my dad did it twice before he turned 40, and I'm just like,
wait.
Hold
on. He retired twice. What do you mean?
So he retired from the city, and then he retired from boxing. So he got to retire twice before he was 40.
Was he
some people
you said
go out of
boxing?
retirement. Yeah.
Like he was a professional boxer?
Yeah, he was semi-pro.
That's pretty
whatever
cool.
they call it.
But
That's legit.
Did he have to do it to earn money?
Yes.
Okay, so he didn't really get to retire.
He was semi-retired while semi-pro
Yeah.
and then fully retired.
Yeah.
Okay.
And he
I'm just trying to relieve some pressure
estate.
for you of
Is that
the
where this
reality
idea
is.
came from then? You're like, I want to be like Dad. I want to retire by 40?
Well, it inspired me, yes. I
Okay.
feel like that. I've always been an overachiever and work hard.
An aggressive goal, of something big that you're like, I want to work for that. I get that. Okay. Perfect.
Keep going.
So yeah, how can we help?
Okay. So I ran into a financial situation. It's not a lot of debt. It's $44,000 worth of debt, and I make about $60,000. So I want to pay this debt off. And
What kind of debt is it?
It's $20,000 in a car, $4,000 about in personal loans, and $2,000 in my son's private school that I still owe. And credit cards, $16,000 in credit cards.
Woo. This
16,000?
doesn't feel like a recipe to early retirement. If I
I
was trying to
know.
retire early, I'd probably go, hey, I'm going to make sure I don't owe people money and have money saved on top of that.
I know.
So how
The
long
situation
has
that
this been floating
happened-
around? How long have you had this debt for?
So I filed a bankruptcy about 2 years ago.
Oh.
This is when all of this started.
So all of this debt was post-bankruptcy? Or were you on a payment plan? What happened?
So actually, the only debt that I don't I don't have to pay back one of the personal loans, or one of the credit cards, and yeah.
Because of the bankruptcy?
Because of the bankruptcy.
Okay.
The issue is that I want to keep the relationship with that bank, and I want to pay them their money back because I never wanted to put the items in bankruptcy. I was still paying it, but they said that because I filed a Chapter 7 that they had to put it in the...
What caused you to file bankruptcy 2 years ago? What were your numbers then?
So then I was making about, it kind of flip-flopped. I was making about 40, then I went back to 60. Then I think before that I made 80. So what happened was I was working for this company. I had moved. I was working for this company. Basically, I decided I wanted to open up my own company because we're under government contracts. We have a certain criteria that we have to meet. When I said that I wanted to open up my company, the government agency said that they had to take away all my clients. So basically, I went from having, a decent income to like having nothing the next day.
Okay, and it was all because of this new business.
Yes.
So the new business never took off, but you took out loans to float the business for a bit, and that's what caused the bankruptcy?
No, so when they took my clients, it took a while. It took about a year and a half for me to open up and to get clients. So I started having clients in September. I had like maybe 15. Now I have like 25. So, and that's all I need financially.
Yes, but Trina, what caused the bankruptcy 2 years ago? Was it consumer debt? Was it business loans? What was it?
So I had these student loans, and I put them in an adversary proceeding where I filed bankruptcy to get rid of the student loans while I was waiting for my agency to open. When the agency didn't take off right away, I started using my kids' college funds, my retirement.
Oh, boy.
I started pulling everything out.
Okay.
And so I started lifting, and I started working with another company, but that company just didn't pay that much. I was
Gotcha. Okay, so Trina, I have a new goal for you. I think instead of retiring at 40, we are going to learn to live debt-free.
Which I usually do. No, but this was like
Trina, so far it's been everyone else's fault, and the government took your clients away.
No, I'm not saying she's pushing on everyone's fault, but no, Trina, you got to be able to say I'm used to living with debt, though, from student loans to where you are now. There's a pattern of you using debt. Can we say yes to that?
Well, that makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
I wasn't looking at it like that, sorry.
No, you're great. No, I just want to make sure we're tracking. So I think in order to have a completely new mindset with money from where you've been, of saying I'm living completely debt-free, debt's not an option. Debt is not an option. I'm going to save up and pay for things. I'm not going to be making unwise decisions about purchases and pulling money out of retirement or kids' college or investments, because that's not wise, right? Where that stuff is all for the future. And I'm going to learn to live within my income and my means. And that means making hard decisions about lifestyle and about, life choices and everything. And so, genuinely, I would make that the goal. I would make it a aggressive goal to get out of debt in, 2 years? Like make a aggressive goal to get out of debt, to save up a fully funded emergency fund.
And freeze your credit. That way it stops you.
Debt-free plan.
2.5 years is your plan? Okay.
Okay, that's so great.
We never even got to your question, Trina. I'm sorry. There's so much details to jump into. What is your actual question we can help you with?
Well, I wanted to basically flip this piece of property. They have a piece of land that's for sale. It hasn't been impacted yet. I wanted to do like a creative finance to see if I could...
No, we're off the path.
Remember
we're
10 seconds ago
what
we talked about?
We're the new goal, remember?
Creative financing just means, hey, I'm going to do stupid on steroids.
That's fair. That was her original question. That's fair. We made a new goal 10 seconds ago. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So how would you answer this now, Trina? Answer your own question with your new goals in mind.
So I am going to stick to my 2.5-year budget that literally just took effect this month.
Let's
And
go.
That's what we're talking about, Trina. See?
Be debt-free after that, and then maybe save the money instead of taking out.
Yes.
And
Look at you.
And how old are you, Trina?
I'm 38.
38.
Yes.
Okay, can I tell you, if you don't retire by 40, you're not a failure?
I promise.
Can I just promise you that? If you don't retire
Yeah.
by 60, you're not a failure. How about this? You're not a failure, period.
Oh,
There you go. That's the most encouraging thing I've said today.
I think
Rachel can attest to that.
I think that's
But the
so
truth
great.
is, we have these aggressive goals, and we need to create actions to get there, and we can't hold ourselves to these goals because life is going to happen. And so it's okay to pivot the dream, but one thing we can't do is pivot in going backwards and rob our future, rob our children's future. You are worth more than that. And so
Yes.
from today forward, you're a person who doesn't go into debt, who doesn't owe people money.
And all your decisions can be based off of that value system because that brings you freedom, Trina. There's no shortcut. There's no like, okay, I can do this creative financing here and do this and I'll make 20 grand just like that. And look at that. Like that doesn't work. That's not the real world. It is hard work. It is the long game. It is a marathon. It's not a sprint. And it's just a different mindset you have to be in to get true financial freedom and true control over your money. And so you do have to shift the way you've been doing it, Trina. If you keep doing what you've been doing, you're going to keep getting what you've been getting. And so, I'm glad that Trina answered her own question.
We got there.
We're not going to finance a piece of land to build a home to flip it. We are going to work on getting out of debt.
De-risk your life. Debt equals risk. More debt equals more risk. And so this creative financing is just adding more risk to the puzzle. And so be free.
Yep.
That's your best path to an early retirement.
You're awesome, Trina. Thanks
We're rooting for
thanks
you.
for calling.
If you run a business, you already know this. Bad information leads to bad decisions. And right now, AI is everywhere. But AI is only as good as the data behind it. The best AI is built on the best data. That's why I recommend NetSuite. NetSuite is the #1 AI cloud ERP, and more than 43,000 businesses run on it, including us here at Ramsey Solutions. Their AI isn't bolted on, it's built in, and it connects everything that runs your business. Accounting, inventory, customer data, all in one place. Because when your numbers are connected, AI actually works like it's supposed to. NetSuite's AI helps flag cash flow problems, spot inventory issues, close your books faster, and cut down on manual reporting. If your revenue is at least 7 figures, go to netsuite.com/Ramsey for a free product tour. That's netsuite.com/Ramsey.
If you have a simple tax situation, like you haven't had any major life changes or big investments, check out Ramsey Smart Tax. Ramsey Smart Tax is affordable, it keeps filing simple, plus it has built-in support in case you need a little help. Filing early means getting the best deals, and you get that tax stress off your shoulders. So as soon as you get all your tax documents, head to RamseySolutions.com/smarttax and start filing. Matt is in Colorado Springs. What's going on, Matt?
Hey, so first thing I just want to say is y'all are such a blessing to so many people.
Oh, thank you.
I've listened for quite some time, and I'm just thankful for what y'all do. And now I find myself in a situation where I could use some advice.
Yeah, thank you, Matt.
Yeah. So I guess the brass tacks of the situation is I've got a pretty considerable amount of IRS debt. I own 2 businesses, and I've just kind of got myself in a little bit of a hole. And so the question is, if there's any credibility to tax relief programs and things of that nature.
Well, they're often marketed to people who are desperate and vulnerable. which is never a good sign. You know, when that usually means they're predatory and they're promising, way over promising and under delivering. So what they tell you to do is basically, hey, don't pay a dime, you pay us instead. And what's going to happen is tanks your credit, which with the IRS, not the people you want to not pay. And so they then try to settle for you and save you money, which, by the way, you can do all of this yourself. And with the IRS, they can already set up a payment plan. So there's really no use for a tax relief program in this situation.
Okay.
They're just paid middlemen between you and the IRS.
Right. And the other office that I contacted was more of like a tax attorney that talks more about the future plan for the taxes for the business to avoid this issue in the future, which
that's legit.
May be beneficial. Yeah. But then his office was saying, you know, we don't recommend these tax relief programs because they're overpromising and under-delivering. So
perfect. I'm in line with an attorney. That's a good day for me.
Okay. So I guess the question is, if you were in this situation, what steps you might take?
How much do you make a year, Matt?
It's kind of relative, probably somewhere around 100 or so.
Okay. And do you have anything in savings?
Yeah, I typically try not to dip below 15 or 20 in savings.
So you have 20?
Yeah, about right there right now.
Okay. Yeah.
The issue with my particular business is it's extremely seasonal with construction. So, I kind of hunker down in the wintertime and, rice and beans and do just about nothing. So, but then in the busier season, it's easier to tackle some of these things. So,
what kind of construction?
Outdoor, fence and deck and a lot of carpentry kind of stuff. So,
cool. Well, the good news is you can still work during that time and make money, and you can definitely pay this money back in a reasonable amount of time. Do you have any other debts that are holding you back from creating the margin to knock this out quick?
Yeah, there's still about $20,000 remaining on a HELOC.
Okay.
And I already know that's a teeth grinding word for you probably, but that, it's one of those situations where sure I could pay that off, but then, you have to worry about the bills right now. So if I were to pay it off, I would wait until the money's coming in more fluently in the busier season.
So you got 40 to the IRS, 20 on the HELOC. Anything else?
That's about it. I've paid off, I don't know, 20,000 something in credit cards.
Great.
Good for you.
No car loan?
Yeah, well, this changes the debt snowball a little bit because IRS debt gets moved to the front. So even before the HELOC, I would be tackling this 40. And I would just make it an aggressive goal. And again, I don't know if it's a payment plan that you contact the IRS with, but I would try to have this all paid off in less than a year.
Yeah.
So I guess other pieces of the equation are I've got to file the last 2 years of taxes. I'm behind on that. So there'll be probably another 10 to 15 after all the expenses and whatnot.
So let's call it 60. Is that fair?
Sure. Yeah.
So if we call it 60, you owe 60, set up a payment plan with them, and maybe it's, hey, you're going to pay $1,000 a month or $2,000 a month. And then once you get down to that, you got $15,000 left, I would use your savings to just knock it out. And then you can replenish the savings. Really what you do is then attack the HELOC, then replenish the savings.
So I guess the questions then become, I pay a considerable amount of additional principal on my home. Or does it make more sense to factor that into this equation?
Yeah, I would just pay your
make
mortgage.
the minimum mortgage payment. Why are you paying extra on the principal of your home right now?
Generally just, you look at the amortization schedule and all of that, and it over a course of time, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
But,
and it does in the right order, but you want to get this stuff cleaned up. So if you went down to just your mortgage payment, how much does that free up a month?
Probably about another $1,000 or so.
Oh, great.
So how much could you reasonably put towards this IRS debt every month if you got aggressive?
Well, this is where it gets tricky because, I listen to your show constantly and people are like, well, I make this exact amount every month or every 2 weeks. And for me, I have months where it's 15, 20,000 and I have months where it's 2,000.
Some peaks and valleys.
But you've been doing this a while, so you probably could look at a calendar and semi-guess, like this probably will be good months here, low months here. So, so you may be putting, maybe, $1,400 towards this on a low month, but a good month, you could be throwing $3,000 at it, right?
Sure.
So I would kind of just map it
I'm
out that way.
And I'm already set up on like their minimum amounts, 400 something a month. So I've been actively attacking it for a couple of years. But it seems like every dollar that goes into it's just paying off the accruing interest,
Right,
So,
right.
Yeah. You need to get way more aggressive on this, which means all focus is on this IRS debt. No extra on the mortgage.
Okay.
Your budget is bare bones. You are just covering 4 walls, food, utility, shelter, transportation, insurance. Anything else is going towards this. And try to make it to where there's no gap in income. Now, I understand you're going to have some really good months and some rough months, but I don't want you just sitting around going, well, there's no work to be done right now.
Sure. So I guess in general, you wouldn't, I mean, I could run the HELOC up more and pay that, and it might be less percentage that I'm paying.
We are not adding a cent to the HELOC. We're not going to keep going with this line of credit. We are done with that. So just keep it where it is, keep up with the minimum payment, and then all of your guns are pointed toward this IRS debt for the time being.
Now, do you think it would make sense to sell off additional assets to try to do this?
What do you have?
Well, I've got a considerable number of vehicles and machinery that are mostly associated with the business. I mean, they're, for all intents and purposes, mine, but the business owns them.
Yeah, would it decimate the business income if you sold these off?
Do you need it, though, to run your business?
Well, it's probably like a half and half kind of number. I mean, skid steers and tractors and things that are relatively essential. But
like, do you have one piece of machinery you're thinking of that you're like, okay, I could sell that and be okay?
Doesn't get a lot of use, doesn't create a lot of revenue right now.
Yeah.
What could you get for that?
I mean, probably somewhere between 15 and 20.
Wow.
$1,000?
Yeah.
That paired with your savings gets you out of the IRS debt
Matt.
like tomorrow.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I kind of figured y'all would be on that boat.
And you can always buy it used later if you need it, right? With cash.
Sure.
Yeah, and again, that's all saying that's not affecting your business. I don't want you to have to turn
I don't want you to
business
lose
down.
half your income because you sold this thing.
Right. So you want to be smart about it. But if it's something that you're really not using or really need and you get $20,000 off of it,
I'm doing that for sure.
Sure.
I'm a huge advocate of not having car loans, and I fix them all myself and whatnot. So
that's great. Yeah. Anything you have, Matt, I would, because I think if you had no IRS debt and no HELOC, how would you feel?
Like I could scream.
Like amazing. I could scream, I'm debt free. Exactly. Yeah. So I'm like, whatever you could do to get to that level of peace and control is what we're after. And then later, when the business is doing great and you have all this freed up money because you don't have debt, you're able to save. And if you need to go buy some equipment,
cash flow some equipment.
Then you
I'm
can.
changing the Dave quote. Now it's sell so much stuff the skid steer thinks it's next. Because it is, my friend. Good luck selling it. Hope you get a great buyer who's happy to pay you what it's worth.
Getting married changes something in you. It sure did in me. When you say I do, all of a sudden life isn't just about you anymore. It's about we. And one of the most grown-up things you can do for that we is to make a will at mamabearlegalforms.com. See, being a grown-up isn't just about jobs and rent and splitting up the chores. It's about having a plan so the person you love is protected. And a will isn't about dying, it's about deciding. It puts your wishes in writing so no one has to guess and judges don't have the final say. That's why I recommend Mama Bear Legal Forms. With Mama Bear, making your will is easy. It's completely online, no lawyers required. You can get it done in about 20 minutes. The price you see at the start is the price you pay with Mama Bear. So, if you're serious about being an adult, do this today. Go to mamabearlegalforms.com, use the promo code Ramsey, and save 20% on your will. That's mamabearlegalforms.com, promo code Ramsey.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio. I'm George Kamel, joined by best-selling author and my co-host of Smart Money Happy Hour, Rachel Cruze. We're taking your calls at 888-825-5800. 5225. Up next, we head to Charlotte, who is in Columbia, South Carolina. Charlotte, welcome to the Ramsey Show.
Hi, how are you?
We are doing great. How can we help today?
My question is, well, my husband and we have $100,000 of student loan debt that we just started paying off, and my dad had promised us that he would help pay this debt off. However, in the last year, we've had to cut time with him.
Sorry, you're breaking up with us, Charlotte. Can you speak directly into your phone or try to get to a better spot? I heard your 100,000 student loans. Dad said he would help pay them off, and you recently had to cut him off?
Yes, we did. We had to cut ties with him, and so we are now...
Like the relationship is over?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
Got it.
Correct. Yes. So we are now just looking into this debt now for our own to pay off. And my question is, what tips would you have to pay this off quickly? I don't want this to be looming over our heads for longer than it needs to.
We agree.
What did you get your degrees in?
My husband got a law degree, so that...
Oh, gotcha. Okay, perfect. So is he practicing law right now?
Yes.
Okay.
Is.
And how much is he making a year?
He is making a little over $100K.
Okay. And what are you making a year?
I'm just making a little over $20K. I'm working part-time. We just had our first child back in October.
Okay. Oh, congratulations.
Thank you.
Okay, great. So, yeah, I mean, the most efficient way to do this, Charlotte, is if you have multiple student loans, do you, or is it all one loan?
It's just one loan.
Okay. Yeah, so it's just going to be,
attacking the mountain.
Yep.
Throwing as much as you can every month on top of the minimum payment, just throwing as much as you guys can. So it's make as much as we can every month, spend as little as we can, and use that difference, that margin, to knock out this debt fast.
Because if you guys make $120 a year, if you lived on $60,000, Charlotte, and you guys basically had no lifestyle, you're just like, listen, we are just gonna just live on what we got, and you threw 60 at it. I mean, in a year and a half, you guys will have this paid off.
Okay.
So it's just, you got to live like a broke law student and not like a lawyer. And that might be I don't know what your lifestyle is like, but that's going to be a big shift.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you guys have margin every month in your budget?
We definitely could. We could have more.
Yep.
So make it a goal. Could you this month, with the next paychecks coming in, throw $4,000 on top of the minimum at the debt?
Yeah.
You're done in less than 2 years. I mean, that's the math of it. There's no like life hack shortcut. Now, if you were doing the debt snowball and you had multiple debts, we'd say attack the little one first, minimums on the rest, and create some progress. This is a little bit harder because it's just it's like paying off a mortgage. You're just staring down this mountain going, all right, I would celebrate the wins. Every $10,000 you pay off, you guys have a little fun, whatever you decide to do. And that'll keep you motivated along the way. Maybe make it visual. Maybe you have like, rings and chains across the house or on the fridge, whatever you guys decide to do. Making it visual, having a deep why. Maybe this child is your deep why of, I want this kid to grow up in a house that doesn't know debt, that has financial stability.
Yeah, and it probably is. There's probably a painful element too, right? That you guys are doing this because of a relationship that was fractured. So you know what I mean? It's kind of like the sad reminder too, of having this around of like why we have to pay this off. So there is a part too of like, oh, I just want to.
You don't want it to drag out.
I just want it out of my life,
Definitely.
Is your husband on board with this?
Yes, he is. We're in the very beginning stages of really talking about it, which I feel behind because it's been almost a year that we've had to cut ties with my dad, but it really does just kind of feel like the dust has now settled more with that, and then with having our son. But so we're just in the beginning stages of like really coming up with a plan.
Tell me this, Charlotte. Your dad wasn't paying your husband's debt for law school though, just yours, right?
He never paid any debt because when all of this came out with my dad, we had just like maybe for 2 weeks been put on a payment plan for the debt.
Okay.
So he had not paid that. However,
yeah, but was the expectation that he was going to pay your husband's law degree?
He had said he would.
Oh, okay. So it was the whole debt. Because I was thinking, is if he just promised your debt and yours is 10,000 of the 100,000, I was going to ask why you didn't address, but it was said out loud that it would even.
So this wasn't on your radar, and all of a sudden, relationship's broken, and now you've got 100,000 sitting in your lap to pay off, on top of the grief. And so this is a lot.
Yeah, it is sad.
And it's gonna be tight. But less than 2 years, the baby won't remember it. It'll be a memory for you guys. Remember that time we worked our tails off for 2 years to get to a place of financial stability, and you will not regret the sacrifice you're making right now. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah. Would you take out? We have a high-ish amount of money in a CD account. That's a 2-year CD account. So I don't think we can't touch it for like another year. But
how much is in there?
Yes, we're not. Like a little over $75,000.
Fantastic. Well, I would also look at what the penalties are for taking it out before it matures. Because if you're going to pay more interest in student loans than the penalty is, then it's worth cashing out.
Okay.
And that gets you out of debt so much faster.
Yeah.
What was that money earmarked for?
We didn't really have any sort of plan for it other than just to kind of keep it in there, and then maybe once it was done, divvy it up more. We were probably going to buy another house or like sell the house or now buy a little bit bigger house as our family grew. That money actually was given to us from the death of my grandfather, so it was kind of unexpected. So we really didn't have much of a plan, and then it was like, we got that. My husband started paying the student loan debt, and then everything happened with my debt. So, to be honest, we haven't thought about it that much.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Well, the other part you have to grieve is, hey, this was going to be like house upgrade money, and now it's paying off debt money, which is less exciting. And
but I would do that in a heartbeat, 100%.
Charlotte. I would look into that tonight to see what the penalties are.
And then depending on how aggressive you guys want to move up in house, still look at cutting back some lifestyle and saving up some margin and say, okay, if we were to replenish this, you could do that in a year and a half still and get that money back. But I would go ahead and
this new plan is we're out of debt 6 months. By the summer, we're debt free.
Yes, I would do that in a heartbeat. And then you guys save your income and decide how quickly you want to save, how slow, but no one else is determining that for you. Or you guys could say, no, we're good. And for the next year, we're going to just enjoy our life. And
maybe you can quit the part-time job after you get the emergency fund.
No one's making you do it. Where a student loan, you have to make this payment.
Yeah. Life is going to be on your terms soon enough. And so far, life has just been happening to you and everything's been unexpected. And I hope soon you can start to get intentional and happen to your life, Charlotte. We're rooting for you. Thanks for calling.
This show is sponsored by BetterHelp. Financial stress does not just damage our bank accounts, it can also take a toll on our mental and emotional health and our relationships. Money worries cause anxiety, and they are one of the leading sources of conflict for all types of couples. I know this. My wife and I have struggled with money conflicts for years. Listen, therapy can help even with money conversations. Therapy is not about financial advice, but it can help you build healthier ways of coping, give you strategies to communicate about money, and give you a plan moving forward. I want you to consider talking to my friends at BetterHelp. BetterHelp is an online therapy platform that matches you with a licensed therapist based on your goals and preferences. BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of conduct, and they are fully licensed in the United States. You can message your therapist and schedule sessions right in the platform. And if the first therapist isn't a great fit, you can switch at any time for no additional cost. When life feels overwhelming, therapy can help. Visit BetterHelp.com/Ramsey to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/Ramsey.
Shane is in Vegas up next. What's going on, Shane?
Hey, y'all. Thanks for having me on. It's an honor to be speaking to you today.
Thank you. How can we help today?
Yeah, so favorite topic for you guys, money and family. Long time ago, when I was 18, took out student loans with the agreement with my father that they would pay until the balance is zero. I'm 35 now. Balance is still in the mid 70s to mid 70,000.
Gosh.
What was it originally?
Yeah. It was over 120. So they've been paying it down. They've been making minimum payments.
Well, that's a problem.
I agree with you. The issue I'm really having is that my dad he's totally fine paying it. He still makes the payments, but my mother constantly brings up the fact that they are paying for my student loans. Feels like there's strings attached when at the very beginning there were never those agreements put in
And there was
place.
a clear agreement. Hey, we're going to pay these off. We don't have the money to cover it, but take out the loan and we'll cover it. Is it in your name or their name or both?
They're in my name. They have the money. I mean, right now they could snap their fingers and pay it off, but the way my father sees it is he can make more money in the stock market, so he just chooses to.
Are your
keep
parents
making those
still
minimum
together?
payments. Yeah, they're still together.
Okay. Are you married?
Still financially, I am married. Yes.
Okay. So when you guys are around your parents, how often is that? How often do y'all see them?
We live on separate sides of the country, so once, twice a year. But
Okay.
even in some phone calls, the topic still comes
And
up.
what does she say? Like, what are her comments?
A lot of the times it's like revolved around like, oh, you just bought a truck, like that could have gone to the student loans, or you took a nice vacation, like why is that money? But going back to what I said, that was never part of the agreement, so I never feel obligated. But then my father, he's like, I don't care, I'm still paying them, it's whatever. So
do you
rather
push?
frustrating.
Yeah. Do you push back on her at all?
I do. I try to keep it calm and light, but my wife is really the one that gets frustrated by it.
That's why I was asked if you were married, because I feel like I would be
So-
like, oh my gosh. See, this is the issue with the student loan stuff, is these parents are like, sure, go take out whatever you want to go take out. And you're 18, Shane, right? And sure, you sign it. I mean, yeah, you're 18, you're an adult. So yes, you have some responsibility in the sense of like, you chose to make that decision, but you also had fully functioning adults in your life that said, yes, we would pay for this. So I almost would have a very kind, but a very clear conversation with her around the boundaries of these comments, because it starts to erode the relationship. And
I'm
that's what I
guessing
would
it
tell
already
her.
has.
Yeah.
Doesn't sound like the
you're
holidays
annoyed
are
by
fun.
it. I mean, that's why you're calling, right? This is
a lot of tension.
Yes. Okay.
Okay.
So yeah, I mean, I would tell her, and I would be very kind, but I'd be very, very clear, and to be honest with her and say, Mom, there have been multiple comments made. I mean, you could give her some examples. And the truth is, when I was 18, you all told me that you would take them out and you would pay for this. And I'm holding y'all to that word. I mean, that's what was said. If something has changed and you and Dad agree on a different plan, I'm happy to have a discussion with you if that's the case. But that's not been the discussion. And so I need you to stop making these comments. They're passive aggressive and it's eroding our relationship. Can you do that, Mom? And at that point, that's up to her. Yeah. She's the adult that gets to make the decision if she wants to continue a very healthy relationship.
Listen, I don't control y'all's money. That's your decision. So this is now a marital problem they have of Mom disagrees with how Dad is handling a debt they agreed to pay.
That's a good point too, yeah.
So legally, yes, it's yours. They could stop paying today and it's going to come to you. Now, they haven't done that yet, and I'm glad that they're not intentionally trying to tank your life. But this might be another conversation with Dad of saying, hey, listen, you have the money. I don't care how much you could make in the freaking stock market. This is eroding our relationship, which is way more important than some spread you could make. And so you can try to also influence him to, sort of, this would solve everything, wouldn't it? If Dad just wrote the check, paid him off, and went, dude, it's been 17
years. Mom might
years.
be pissed. I don't know. Would your mom be mad at that?
Yeah. Who knows?
So she just doesn't want to even use any of their money anymore to pay for these loans.
I'm sorry, can you say it again?
She doesn't want any of their money to be used to pay for any more of your student loans. She's just done with this whole thing.
It's hard to say. I know they're financially well off. Like my mom is retired. My dad, he makes fairly decent living, and I know what their nest egg is in liquid and retirement. So I know
this is not a big part of their world.
It's not a big part of their world, and my wife and I, we make decent money. So the payment it would be totally fine for us to take on. It's just I need to know if I need to start paying my $80,000 student loans.
Do you guys have the money to write a check and pay this off today?
Not in like liquid assets. I mean, I could save a couple more months and it would be fine. But then it would just wipe out all of our liquid investments. So my wife doesn't really want to do that one. So it would probably just be
what I'm hearing is either way, someone's going to
be
be angry. And so that's the thing we have to make peace with is who do we want to upset? And the truth is you can't control how they react or respond. All you can do is be a person of integrity and have the conversation.
That's fair. Sure.
So I was just saying, if you wanted to, this is the other option, is you write a check and say, Mom, I don't want this to come between us and destroy our relationship. Here's the freaking check to pay off the loans.
Yeah.
That's the other option.
Yeah, it kind of pisses me off, those, because they freaking have had this for almost 20 years.
Yes. The immaturity is on
Do you know
Mom's
what I'm
side
saying?
at this point, and Dad's for
And I'm
basically
sure they
agreeing
are
to pay
exhausted, but yes,
It's been
that.
2 decades, man.
When your 18-year-old wants to go and take out $120,000, you say no. But no, they didn't. They said, yes, we will do this and take this on. And so they're the ones that have been dragging their feet. It's not your fault, Shay. I mean, you know what I mean, to that degree, because there was a deal. There was a deal that was made. Yeah.
This
so
is sad.
I'm sorry. That's so frustrating. But I mean, for your wife's sake, for your sake, to like be in her presence and have passive aggressive comments constantly. I would be clear and draw a boundary there. But again, kind but clear.
And there might be an in between.
Appreciate the help, guys.
Yeah, there might be a compromise
absolutely.
where you go, hey, listen, here's how much I'm willing to chip in to just.
Man, you're really
here's
trying
the thing.
to bail the parents out, but they're fine. If they were on food stamps, like I get that.
No, they have the ability to.
Yeah.
And so that's where I go, this is really between Mom and Dad because they have a disagreement.
Yep.
Mom should be mad at Dad, not the son. Because Dad's been dragging his feet for 17 years,
Ding,
can I
ding,
remind
ding.
you?
No, they both have. Both
Goodness
of them.
gracious.
And
clearly Mom doesn't have a vote when it comes to finances.
I feel like we're getting more and more of these. I don't know why. I feel like we hear more and more parent
resentment, guilt calls
to adult children with the student loan debacle in the mix of someone said they were going to pay, they're not paying, or they're paying and they're mad. But this was the original.
Asking me for money again.
This
How
is
do
the
I cut them
original
off?
deal. Yeah, I mean, it's so much.
Can we talk about our parameters around family and money? I think it's a good reminder for everyone listening here, which is this: never loan money to family or friends. If you want to give money, make it a gift, and please don't go into debt for said gift. That's not really a gift. We've heard that. We're like, well, Mom got me a car, it has a loan on it, and so I got to pay it. But she got me the car.
Right, yes.
And so it's fine if you want to give money.
And if the giving ends up becoming a pattern of enabling bad behavior or irresponsibility, that's another stop, right? We're not doing that. But the gifts, because I mean, part of the show is about changing your family tree, right? Getting yourself in a position where you can change your life, you change your family's life, you change others' lives. Like, the ripple effect is beautiful and wonderful, and we want that to be, but we also want the people on the other side that are receiving it to be in a healthy, good spot themselves, to have their own dignity as adults. So that, and then the other thing, George, no co-signing.
Ever.
Please, no co-signing. We got a grandma who co-signed. That was last week on the show, I think.
Gracious.
I know. She was like 92, and this guy's like, yeah, my grandma co-signed. I was like, your poor grandmother. He's broke. He's probably not going to be able to make the payment.
Yeah, they
And it's
require a
only-
cosigner because nobody trusts you to pay it off.
Yes.
And so what happens is you end up not paying
cosign.
it off, and they go after poor grandma.
Yeah.
Who thought you were going to make the payments perfectly, and she was just more of a, just like a nice thing. I'll sign it, but I won't ever have to deal with it.
Right.
Never think that. It will destroy a relationship and cause resentment. And so it's so much easier to just either put the boundary up and say no, or give a one-time gift if it's going to be a blessing and you're not enabling terrible money decisions.
Not one time, though. You think just once for the rest of their
Well,
life?
not like an ongoing, hey, I'm going to give you $1,000 every month forever.
The pattern. Yes.
You know what I mean? If you reward bad behavior, that's when it turns into entitlement.
Agreed.
I'm going to come back to Bank of Dad. Why would I go work harder? That's silly. This is The Ramsey Show.
If you're looking for a more budget-friendly way to save on medical costs and stay true to your values, Christian Healthcare Ministries is a great option to think about. CHM is not health insurance. It's a health cost-sharing ministry,
a biblical, community-based way for Christians to share each other's medical bills. That means no enrollment deadlines, and you can choose any doctor or hospital you want. That kind of freedom is big, especially if you're self-employed, between jobs, or you just need something that fits your budget better. CHM has been around for decades, faithfully serving the Christian community. And many members save hundreds of dollars a month compared to traditional health insurance. And that margin gives you breathing room when you're working the baby steps and trying to steward your money well. And right now, CHM is offering new members a 50% credit towards their first month of membership. Get started at chministries.org/budget and use promo code Ramsey. That's chministries.org/budget and promo code Ramsey.
Matthew is in Denver up next. Matthew, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for taking my call. How are y'all doing this afternoon?
We're doing great. How can Rachel and I help?
So I just I was going to get some advice. My wife and I are looking taking a $100,000 loan from my father to buy an 8-unit rental property, and I just kind of wanted to see what you guys thought based on the details of the property and everything else.
Yeah, let's hear it, because not super excited about this as of now, taking out a loan, but from your father-in-law. But yeah, give me your numbers. What are you thinking?
Okay, so I got a $900,000 property at 3% interest, owner finance, and so it's going to be $100,000 of my money, $100,000 loan from my dad. And then the owner is willing to do $100,000 of in-kind money, is what she calls it. And that includes repairs and improvements on the property for a period of 10 years. And then she's also willing to mentor my wife and I for 2 years, the first 2 years that we own the home. And then at the end of the 10 years, it's going to be a balloon payment. And I know this kind of goes against a lot of the Dave Ramsey I guess, principles, but I wanted to see what you guys thought, because I think it might be a good opportunity for us to kind of get a business and start moving that way.
Do you guys own a home currently, a primary home?
Yes, we do own a home currently, and we have no debts or payments at all besides that house.
Besides the house. What's left on that mortgage?
$190,000.
Okay, and what's your household income?
We make around $135,000, and there's a lot of room for growth there.
Cool. How did this idea come up of the 8-unit and then your dad loaning you the money? Who brought it up?
So we met this woman at a graduation, and we had owned a single-family home investment property, and we got to talking to her, and I kind of told her that we're real estate investors, and she's like, "Oh, well, I got a deal for you. My husband and I are trying to get out of this property because her husband is pretty sick, and they're just trying to move down to Arizona." And so that's kind of how this got brought up. And then she is the one that's kind of structured this deal.
Sounds like it.
So she knows your dad and was like, well, if he ponies up 100, you pony up 100, we can make this work.
And I'll mentor you for 2 years from Arizona.
She's kind of Kurt-tail related to my wife, not by blood or anything, but
Matthew, I just see 85 ways this could go sideways. It's not worth it. It's not. I mean, from the way the loan's structured with the balloon happening in 10 years, all this borrowing from family, going into a $900,000 investment property that you don't have the money for. How much do y'all have saved? How much cash do you and your wife have?
So I have $100,000 for the down, and then we have about $250,000 in the markets right now.
Okay, why do you have to borrow money from your dad? Take your money out if you're going to do the deal. I wouldn't do the deal, but don't borrow money from your dad. You have $350,000.
Okay, got it. And I don't know. I guess my thought is if I could keep it in the markets and make 10%, whereas I could pay my dad back 10% on the money that he loans the company.
I mean, you're needing the stars to align with this. You need 8 tenants who pay on time with no risk there. You need to pay dad back. You need to make money in the markets. There are so many variables here that could go wrong. And
if all of this just tanks, you're screwed, right? If the market tanks, you're screwed.
Yeah.
If you can't find renters, you're screwed. If the market goes down, as Dave always says, if Trump burps and the market goes down.
Literally happened. He was like, we're going to invade Greenland, and the stock market got spooked.
That's right, yeah.
And so you just don't know.
Yeah.
But here's the parameters that
I'd pay
are
off
underlying.
your house, Matthew.
Yeah, the underlying principles are we never recommend you buy investment property until your primary home is paid off. Number 2, we never recommend you borrow to invest in a rental property. Always recommend paying cash. And number 3, we always tell people never borrow money from family. And so there's a lot of principles here that are being violated, all for the sake of a quote-unquote good opportunity.
And I'm going to say this, Matthew, and I don't want it to be rude, but you guys had one single residential investment property, correct? You and your wife.
That is correct.
And you tell this lady that you're real estate investors, which I guess technically you are. You have one investment property. And I think she saw, ding, 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 here's my ticket out. I got to get out of this horrible situation I'm in because my husband's sick. And again, I don't think it's like ill will on her end. I just think she thought, oh my gosh, here's a guy who's probably doing all these like deals that you see on TikTok, and he's got 8 VRBOs and here, you know what I mean? And he'll do it. I bet I could offer him this, and we'll structure the loan where it works for him so I can get out of here. That's what she saw. I mean, honestly, she didn't list it. She didn't go to some, investment firm that has, 18 different investors around the country that go and buy property. You know what I mean? Like, no. She found you and your wife, and you thought you hit a great deal, and you hit a horrible deal. Not good.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate the advice. I really do.
Not what you wanted to hear, I know, but
sorry, Matthew. So listen, what you and your wife did though, I would pay off your house, but I'm all about. I think having investment properties is amazing. My husband and I do. My family. I mean, I think it is great. You just have to start slow. Like the first one Winston and I got. This was probably 10 years ago. It was a short sale condo in this like kind of like sketchy part of Nashville. But it's what we did. But we got a deal. We saved up. We bought it for really not a lot. Had to go do a lot of work in it. We sold it probably, 7 years later when Nashville was on. And it was amazing. Yeah. I was like, this is great, right? Like, you have to start slow. Start small. Don't start with $1 million 8-unit property because you're about to take on all those people. Like, that's going to be a huge headache. Like, get some things under your belt. Start small and then start to work your way up, which is not as flashy, not as exciting, but it is peace. That is a peaceful way to do this and not create chaos because you guys are setting yourself up from chaos and maybe to ruin a relationship with your dad if this goes bad too.
Yeah. I've rarely seen it where they go, yeah, borrowed money from dad. It worked out perfectly. Paid him back and he was happy. I was happy. Usually it becomes, well, dad wants a piece of the pie now. He wants his money back because he needs to retire.
That's it,
Which means I need to sell the property. Oh, and he wants appreciation. And so he wants that too on top of his $100,000, on top of interest, and it just always ruins.
Yeah, or he gets sick
dynamics.
And he needs $100,000 back, and I don't know. There's just there's a lot of things.
So I would hold off and just go slow and
it's not exciting. It's
I want to know
exciting, but it's worth it.
What is the $250 invested for? What is that earmarked for?
What exactly do you mean by like what am I saving that for?
Yeah, you said you had $250,000 in the markets. I'm guessing that's non-retirement, just in a brokerage account.
Yeah, so it's a mix of IRAs and then just personal brokerage account, and that's just saving for retirement is kind of what I've been doing and kind of learning to trade it on my own and with the help from a financial investor and stuff. So
okay.
That's
I was going to say, if you have liquid money that is really earmarked for nothing and you want to take it and throw it at the house, the non-retirement portion, you could do that and speed up the process. Free up a mortgage payment, and then you can stack cash fast.
And you guys are amazing savers. So then, stack up some cash and get $300,000 here, like save that over the next 5 years or whatever your income is, and then go buy a rental property with cash. And that's it. You know what I mean? Like you can do this, slow walking it, but do it in the right order. Pay off the house. If you have the money, I would pay off your primary home. And
the key is
I'd
just
stay away from this
is
deal.
reducing risk. And right now we're just adding more and more and more risk. And your first real investment property to be a $900,000 8-unit just feels like we're biting off a lot here.
Yes.
For the purposes of helping this woman move with her ailing husband.
Yeah. 8 different families, 8 different situations. That's a part-time job right there of what you just signed up for as a landlord. So there's not passive income. It's a lot of work. A lot of work.
If you're working the baby steps, the best and fastest way to do it is by using EveryDollar. It's more than just our budgeting app. Now the plan is built right in. You can track your progress, plus get personalized recommendations and coaching for your situation that will help you free up more money and work the plan even faster. It's like having one of us walking with you every day, 24/7, showing you the next right step and holding you accountable. So start EveryDollar for free. You can download it in the App Store or Google Play. Miriam is in New York City up next. Miriam, how can we help?
Hi, it's a pleasure to speak to both of you. Thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
My question is about life insurance. We pushed off getting life insurance way too long, and I thought it would be pretty straightforward. I wanted to call Xander Insurance. My husband knew 2 people who kept bugging him that they wanted to sell him life insurance, so I said, okay, we need a 20-year term, and I think we got a little screwed by them because we ended up getting a policy which they said was 20-year, but it's extendable 20-year.
Oh, so after the 20 years, you can re-up at the current premiums for your age, which is going to be 2 to 5 times higher,
something
probably?
Something like that, but I think when we got the package, which was after, we have 30 days to cancel or whatever, but it's past the 30 days. Either way, I'm going to replace it, but it goes up even before the 20 years, I think. Like, there's a whole chart. It's hard to understand. I'm not really sure.
Who'd you get it through? What company?
Northwestern.
Oh, boy. Okay. You've said enough,
Is that
Miriam. I would cancel yesterday.
Scam?
It's not a scam, and they're a company who does all kinds of financial products, but likely what happens, here's what I've seen. It's mostly young guys right out of college who want some sales experience, and they sell the scummiest life insurance products to unsuspecting victims like their family and friends.
Right. Yeah. Well,
that's what I've seen.
That's accurate.
So I'm not dogging the whole
Miriam's
company.
like, yep, that's exactly
but
what happened.
that's my brother. Same thing happened to my own brother. Right. Some guy from college reaches out. Hey man, how you doing? And so I would get out of this and I would contact our friends at Xander because they're not going to sell you extendable term life insurance. Term life insurance, by definition.
I did already reach out to Xander.
Okay.
So I just wanted to know, like, based on my circumstances, should I take 20 years? Should I take 30 years? They said that Dave recommends a child rider, which I never heard on the show.
Hold on. Northwestern said Dave recommends a child rider?
No. Xander.
For what reason?
Oh, I don't know. I have 4 kids. I don't know if that's why. I never heard it from him. That's why I called, because I wanted to understand. And then somebody else, I'm getting very overwhelmed, but somebody else told me that we should really do a disability rider.
No, there's a lot of riders. No. And when you hear the word rider, just think gimmick. And so all you need is term life insurance. 20 years should be enough. And here's how to think about it. In 20 years' time, you should be self-insured if you follow the Ramsey plan. You become debt-free, stay debt-free, you have the emergency fund, you invest in retirement for 20 years, you pay the house off in 15 years if you follow our parameters of a 15-year mortgage, and all of a sudden, you don't need the life insurance anymore once the term expires. So that's the goal. And if you need 25 years to get there, then you get 25.
Well, and that's what I'm asking. How do we're in baby step 3B. We live in New York, so that's taking a while. I have 4 kids, 1 on the way, and I'm not done. My husband and I are both from very large families, so I'm thinking my kids are not going to be out of the house in 20 years. Should I go longer? Should I look for something in between to add?
Yeah, I mean, you could see how much it is, because are you guys in good health, would you say?
Yeah.
Okay. Because that's the great thing about term life is it is so inexpensive. And then when it comes up for time for renewal, you can always, go back through and recheck things and make different decisions, right?
You can always get additional policies, in a few years. Now, it's going to be more expensive as you age. So your best bet, likely, and they can help you run the math, is going, hey, let's do a 25-year because it's going to end up being cheaper than doing a 20 now and a 5 later. And so I would confer with them, get the math on it, and always stick to term no matter what. Just term, and if it's 15, 20, 25, that's fine. And always get 10 to 12 times your annual income or your husband's annual income. And both of you should have your own individual policies.
Yeah. And you're saying not 30, 25, I shouldn't go more than that.
30 feels aggressive. If the kids are still in the house at that point, that's on them, and you guys will be multimillionaires by then.
Yeah, I was going to say, because, I mean,
you'll be self-insured.
In 25 years, yes, Miriam, if you guys are investing 15% of your income, if you guys are working to pay everything off, I'm like, it's just, that continues to build. That's where you build wealth. And in 25 years, what that's going to end up being is a lot of money. And so for the kids that are in the home, maybe it's 1 or 2 of them, they're going to have plenty of money. The others should be out living their own lives. And not needing your financial
you'll
support.
have a village at that point to take care of each other. So I'm less worried 25 years from now about what life looks like if you follow the plan.
Exactly. Okay, I can ask one more quick question.
Sure.
About when your income goes up, you're sort of 10 to 12 times your income. So then do you buy another plan in term for the difference?
You can
get a small policy for the difference. I wouldn't cancel the one you currently have and get a new one.
But
so you can always add a small one.
Would you look at that? Like in a year, if it goes up?
Every few years. It's a parameter.
Yeah.
So if you get a $5,000 raise, you don't need to go out and get an extra policy.
Right.
But if you get a substantial raise and your lifestyle's changed and your expenses have changed dramatically, that's when you go, all right, we need to relook at this.
Yeah, it's about every 4 to 5 years I would relook. And in the, the kid situation too changes it. I mean, for me.
Exactly.
So yeah, but I'd say every 4 to 5 years. I'm trying to think what Winston and I, because we just re-upped our life insurance maybe like 2 years ago or something. Because we still get it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like having it, even if we're debt free and everything. There's a part of me that I'm like, we're young and healthy and it's cheap. And that's the great thing about term.
For what it costs, I mean, it's a great policy to have,
we
especially
done it
do
a long
term.
time ago.
Yeah. Yeah. So, so anything fancy around it, any words you don't understand, Miriam, usually is like that's a red flag to me. They're adding things on. If it's a young guy that's in the situation and it's all these weird terms again that they're selling you this package, probably not a great deal. Like the simpler, the better. Just 20-year, 25-year.
And they always want to prey on your emotions and the what ifs and, well, a good parent would do this if you really want to take care of your kids.
And kids don't need life insurance. No. Only you, all of it. So
it's meant to do one thing, which is replace income. That's it.
Yeah.
Your 2-year-old is not bringing, money into the house here unless he's like a Gerber baby making bank. So you're asking really good questions, Miriam, and I love that you're taking care of your family in this way. Most people are going, what the heck are they talking about? I don't have any insurance. And so for everyone out there listening, you need term life insurance if anybody depends on you, a spouse or children. And it's very affordable, and you can call our friends at Xander and get this done today, 800-356-4282, or go to Xander.com. They'll take care of you. Rachel and I both have our policies through Xander for our families, and it's well worth the money.
Yeah, and Xander's great because they go and shop.
They're a broker.
All different companies versus, again, like a Northwestern, right, to pick on them a little bit. But it's like, okay, it's just one, or Aflac. It's just one. You know what I mean? I guess their car. I don't know if they do life.
They probably do it all these days.
Probably. But yeah, it's not just the one company that you're getting the price from. What Xander does, they shop all the companies to get you the best price of what you're looking. So,
and a lot of these now have no medical exams. Like if you're under, I don't know, $1 million policy.
Oh, really? Yeah.
You don't have to go get the medical exam, or
that's nice.
So that's always nice. Not have to get
convenient.
Have someone come to the house and get pricked and get your blood done, or go somewhere and get the blood work done.
I love it.
And it's a good idea to get healthy before you shop for life insurance. Cut the bad habits.
Be thinking about your diet the night before your blood gets drawn.
It's like cramming for a test. You're like, well, if I don't eat bad today.
Fast and drink a lot of water. You're
like Googling, how fast will my blood work be good if I cut sweets?
I know. Yep.
That's a good reminder.
Yeah. And I think those are some of the saddest calls, George, of, we'll get, a widower or a widow calling that their spouse passed away and they have kids, and they're trying to pick up the pieces, whether they're trying to find a new job or starting to work because they were a stay-at-home parent, or trying to figure out childcare for the kids so they can go to work. I mean, it's just and if there is no life insurance, then they have nothing. They're just stuck with what it is. And so it is.
And the sad part is a lot of people think they're covered because they're like, well, he has one through work. And I go, well, how much is that policy? They go, oh, it's $50,000. I was like, well, great. We can get by for maybe 6 to 12 months. But what about after that? And so the goal here is if you make $50,000 and you get a $500,000 policy, you could invest that money and it would be able to spit off $50,000 with the average return in the market. And so that's the goal of getting 10 to 12 times your income, is because the stock market historically has done about 10 to 12%. And so that's the reason for life insurance. That's the mechanics of it. And it doesn't take long. I know it feels like, well, I'm going to die sooner if I get life insurance. No, you're going to die regardless. Maybe tomorrow, maybe in 50 years, but either way, you need to sleep better knowing that your family's protected. And our friends at Xander will hook you up.
You spend hours researching before making a major purchase like a home or car, but it's also a good idea to put in the work searching for the right insurance coverage. To protect your biggest assets, I recommend using Ramsey Trusted Pros. Whether you're looking for car, home, or any other type of insurance, Ramsey Trusted providers have been coached and vetted to serve you like we would. Find what you need at RamseySolutions.com/insurance.
Welcome back to The Ramsey Show in the Fairwinds Credit Union studio. I'm George Kamel, joined by Ramsey personality Rachel Cruze. We're taking your calls at 888-825-5225. Katie is in South Carolina up next. Katie, what's going on?
Hey, thank you guys so much for taking my call. I hope y'all are well.
We are. What's going on with you today? How can we help?
So, I mean, I might sound crazy for saying this, but I just can't shake the feeling that we're charging a little bit too much money. And I guess I'm looking for a way to justify my guilt or, try and figure out how to process, how fast do we want to grow and how should we scale our company.
Okay, so is this your husband?
Yeah, my husband started this business before we got married, and I kind of joined him after that. We've been in business for about 11 years.
Cool. What kind of business is it?
It's a trucking company, so we do some hauling.
Wow, that business has really taken off, hasn't it?
Yeah.
What do you guys bring in a year?
So last year we brought in 290,000 sales. And then after, paying everyone and expenses, we profited about 120,000.
And that's as a household. So that's your household income for the year?
So that's not the household income. Most of that stayed in the business. That was just what the business profited. We paid ourselves about 50,000.
Oh, wow. And that's together. That's total that came to you guys. Wow. All right.
Yep, correct. Yes,
so
sir.
Where did this price hike come into play and why?
Yeah, so our pricing is very simple. We just match what the competition is around us. We don't have a lot of competitors. And, we're one of the few people that do our specific type of hauling in our area. So we really have just always kind of matched what market price is. But I'm kind of looking at case by case, job by job, and realizing that the range of profit we have on each job is super wide. So sometimes it's, a small amount of profit, but a lot of the time it's quite large. So I'm just kind of, when I brought up the idea of restructuring how we do our pricing and, taking it from super simple to trying to be a little bit more specific so we can afford to help some people that usually say, oh, no, you're too expensive. Well, if we were willing to make 40% profit on that job instead of 60, maybe that person would have said yes.
Because do you feel like you need more business? Do you feel like you need more business?
Well, so our work is very seasonal. The demand in season is so high, we can't keep up with it. But then during the off season, it's not really a thing. So we obviously slow down a lot, and we're blessed that, able to work very full-time, overtime 6 months out of the year is enough for us to live off of, and then the rest of the time we can work on side gigs or spending more time with family, which is great. So yes and no, we definitely don't need more work. we can't handle it in the summer, but the idea is obviously to grow so we can do even more during the summer, if that makes sense.
Got it. So is there a moral profit margin in your mind that it's like anything above this, it's immoral to charge?
Well, I don't have a specific number. It's more the concept of, is that even a valid question?
Well, I mean, look, if you look at prices, is his reasoning, hey, everything's gone up. Everything costs us more. Fuel, insurance, maintenance, tires, labor, permits, like that's all gone up. And so it's not like he's tripling the cost just for fun. And you guys are bringing home 50 grand
and
as a household.
And it's a specific type of service that you said. There's not a lot of competition. And so
there's
you
high
guys
demand.
Yeah, I mean,
and not a lot of supply, which means you can charge more, and it's not like you're hurting anybody. They're happily paying you for this service that they can't do themselves.
Right. Yes, the more I say it out loud, the more I know I'm kind of making my husband sound like a superstar in business. But, I always go back to the few cases where people have asked us for help, and, we give them our price, and they're like, oh, that's way over budget. And in my head, I'm saying, I really know I could have helped this person out. I could have met their needs.
Sure.
And I chose not to because I wanted to keep that profit high.
Yeah, I hear you. So I wonder if, because, even here at Ramsey, for instance, like we give stuff away a lot, whether it's tickets to a live event, books, and some stuff it's like very nice coaching, one-on-one coaching that will pay for people's sessions. Like we will have Life with an Open Hand, business-wise, but we're only able to do that because we are making a profit on the other end that is feeding 1,000 people that work here and their families and all of it, right? So there is room to be, if there is room to be generous, I would talk to your husband about that and say, hey, and I hate to, this sounds so like legalistic, and I don't mean to be this like formulaic about it, but I don't know, okay, I'm just thinking like 4 different situations, throughout the summer when you guys are in high demand and people are like, we need you, but I can't afford that pricing. Are there 4 times that you can say, and you guys agree on that, like, hey, I just feel something in my spirit that I'm supposed to extend some grace to them and help them.
Yeah.
And so that way you're at least in the practice of doing that when you feel led, but it's not changing the whole structure of the company, because I don't feel like you guys are doing something wrong or immoral, to George's point. And you guys are bringing home $50K a year out of this thing.
We're far from being greedy here.
Yeah. It's not like you're making $5 million and you're like, oh my gosh, I feel like we're overcharging everyone.
Most of your customers are making more than you, and so that's the other thing to think about here is you guys also need to put food on the table, and you have financial goals, and there's nothing wrong or immoral about making money. Have you screwed anyone over? Have you lied? Have you cheated?
Right. No. Absolutely not.
And so it's okay to say, this is what our service is worth, and we're going to charge it. Right. And if you can't afford it, that's not a slight on them. It's just saying, hey, you need to go somewhere else that you can afford. Mm-hmm. And so I can't get everything that I want. There's things that I can't afford. And I don't expect that business to go, well, can you just bring the budget down for me? This is not a charity. If you want to start a charity, go for it. You can open a nonprofit and do all kinds of charitable giving.
Yeah, but I wonder, could she kind of like scratch this itch a little bit within it, right?
I like your idea of saying, hey, there's going to be a customer that comes our way that my heart grieves for them and I want to help them. And that's totally great to say, we want to be generous to this many customers a year, or when it comes up, we're going to give some people a break. But I don't think you also need to go, well, whatever your budget is, we'll try to meet that, because that's how you go out of business.
I mean, any industry, Katie, there's going to be people that can't afford, you know what I mean? I'm like, I just think about, I don't know, that's why I thought social media. I'm like, people that, need help with social media. There's people that do that as a job that charge insane money because they're really good at it. Or people that are starting out and don't charge much. And you couldn't afford, the high ends. That's okay. It's a service they provide. And just because they charge a lot, doesn't make them a bad person. It means they're probably really good at their job, or they found this niche area of life, which is what you guys have done. So nothing bad. But I would say lean into when you can. And it's not the whole business model, but if there's moments to say, hey, I want to be generous in this instance, you and your husband get on the same page with that, and maybe that'll kind of help free up your spirit some in that generosity.
Think about it this way. If you guys charge more and you make more, that gives you the freedom to be more generous when the time comes without it being a loss for you. And so I think there's nothing wrong with that. And listen, if you charge too much, you'll go out of business eventually. And so
Sorry,
you'll
people
know
stop
when the
coming to you.
price is right, when you have the right amount of supply and demand happening. And so I don't think anyone's right or wrong here. I think we need to meet in the middle and understand you want to be generous and he needs to pay the bills. Both of you are right.
Hey guys, I've got big news. The Ramsey Show is going on tour, and this is your chance to be more than just a listener. You get to be part of the show. So hear questions asked live and experience the kind of momentum that only comes from being in the room. We'll be in Charlotte, Denver, Phoenix, and Anaheim with a limited number of seats in each city. So last fall, we completely sold out in 72 hours. So do not wait. Get your tickets at ramseysolutions.com/events or by clicking the link in the show notes.
CJ's in Phoenix up next. Welcome to the Ramsey Show, CJ. How can we help?
Yes, how y'all doing? Thank y'all for hosting me. I wanted to get your input in ways to get out of my debt with the credit cards, student loans, and a car loan. And my house payments, I think when I first got the house, I was making a certain amount of money, and I thought it was a good idea to get this two-story house. But per paycheck, it's been the house payments, what I pay to escrow, is a whole check. And
so it's half your income?
Check, half my income, yes, sir.
Your take-home pay, okay.
My take-home pay.
What do you make?
Yes. I make, before taxes, about $103,000.
Okay. Are you single?
Married.
Married. Okay. Is your spouse working outside of the home or at home?
She just had a baby, so she's not working currently.
Congrats. That's exciting.
Thank you.
Okay. What's your total debt?
My total debt with the house payments, I want to say... It's
not including the mortgage. Just give us the consumer debt. You said car loan, credit card, student loans.
About $110,000.
Woo. How much is the car loan?
The car loan is only $5,000. The bigger one is the credit cards and the student loans.
What do those break out to be? How much are the student loans?
The student loan is about $40,000 on the government one, and $5,000 a Texas loan. I think that's the private one.
Okay.
And the credit card comes out to be altogether about $60,000.
$60,000. How many credit cards do you have?
It's 5. Between 5, it's the $60,000.
Okay.
Well, what did the $60K get spent on the credit cards, and like over what period of time was this?
It's been over the last, I want to say, about year and a half, where once I got the clinical coordinator position, not that the pay, I came home as a full-time nurse and to get this position, and I was doing a travel assignment, so I was getting paid more. So that's how I thought in my mind that I was just going to stay together. I mean, for a good amount of time traveling, but then we had our first kid, and I was, off of home. And
so your income went down, but your spending stayed high. The lifestyle creep never went away, and so you were just spending on the cards.
So the house payment was taking, the one payment and to, gasoline and other stuff.
Speak directly in your phone, ZJ. We're having a hard time hearing you.
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
So once I came full time, and the house payment was half of what half of one check per month. That's when I was I'll put it on the card and hopefully I'll be able to pay it, and it was just.
Oh, you're putting the mortgage on the card.
Not the mortgage. It was just everything else was
Everything
on the card.
else. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, because you spent one full paycheck on the mortgage, and then anything else,
the
lifestyle,
mortgage.
just went on the card.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Are you and your wife ready to have a very different life?
Yes, sir. We talked about it, and we always listen to the show, and we always just talk about we need to do better. And with the credit cards, most of them are through Chase Bank, and I did call to tell them that I can't pay anymore, so they put me on the plan. But even with that, is about just Chase alone is about $1,200 that I'm paying.
Okay, with everything, CJ, with you're paid twice a month. With the mortgage, the credit card bills, your regular utilities, I mean, everything. I'm assuming you're coming up short every month if you stayed current with all of your debt?
I do come short. I did pick up this year. I did pick up a home health job, which usually it's about $400 or $500 more per month, and that gives me the ability, like that $500, to pay.
Is what you need to stay to keep your head above water. But that's it though. There's nothing extra to be throwing at this debt to get out of it. That's just to pay the minimum payments.
Yes, ma'am. That's it, just month to month, and it's.
Yeah.
I'm
How many
always trying to
hours are
see-
you doing that extra job?
That's per patient.
Okay.
Right now, I have about 3-4 patients. Sometimes I'll tell them my days off, and they'll try to give me, PRN jobs to just go see a patient, but they don't come often. It's
not reliable.
Yeah. So I mean, that's a good thing to have because I feel like it pays well. But I would have another side hustle because. Yeah, CJ, it's something. It's got to shift from the income perspective. I think you guys need to cut your lifestyle if you haven't already.
Yeah, no eating out, no investing, no saving. All we're doing is trying to pay down the smallest debt. So take that smallest credit card that you have, and we're going to knock that out. Or if it's the car loan, that's the smallest debt, or the student loan, we're knocking that balance out first and make minimums on the rest. So we're going to try to stay current on all the bills and throw extra at the smallest debt we have. That's called the debt snowball method.
Which will either be that $5,000 private student loan or your $5,000 car, or if there's a credit card smaller than $5,000, you're going to attack that first.
Okay.
Is there anything you could sell to come up with some cash to speed this up?
Everything else I've looked, and it would just be minimal stuff. Shoes, but it's minimal.
What is the car worth? You said you owe $5,000 on it. What is it worth?
It's worth about $3,000.
Oh.
It's a Jeep, but the miles I think right now it's about 155,000 miles on it.
Okay. How long ago did your wife have the baby?
A couple months ago.
Okay. I would have a goal for you guys because again, $500 a month shifts. You guys, it's so helpful. So I'm thinking for her, what could she do from home to make $500 a month? And that could include selling stuff. She could make a part-time job of selling your shoes, CJ, making some money.
Yeah.
But for real, like what can she do? And she doesn't have to start today, but maybe you guys look up and say, okay, you're going to start working CJ extra. You're cutting lifestyle. And then we're going to look up and I don't know, I'm making this up, June. She's going to start doing something through the end of the year, bringing home an extra $500 to $1,000. Like I think as much income as you guys can get in, rolling in, which is going to be exhausting. It's going to be so hard. It's so frustrating. But that's going to make you guys get out of debt that much faster because it's not fun, right? During this process of sacrifice. But you guys either have to do it really intensely and just go all in, or you kind of just dabble around the edges and you guys will keep it around for another 4 to 5 years.
Because here's the truth: if we continue at this pace and you can only throw $100 or $200 of this debt, you're going to be in debt for the rest of your life. And so that's why we're saying 6-figure debt. You need a massive 6-figure income to pay this off in a reasonable amount of time. 2, 3, 4 years. That's the goal here of intense sacrifice, not 20 years of just trying to make our way through and make the minimum payments while the interest racks up. So that's why we want you to have a sense of urgency to get this income up. And you've got a lot of skills that are very valuable. And so if you can go make $150,000, $200,000, and she makes another $50,000, even if the kids are in daycare for a season, they will survive. The goal is for you guys to get above water here.
Okay. So getting our income up.
That's the key. Getting expenses down as much as we can, but even then, your income has to go up in order to knock this out quickly.
Yes, sir.
So hang on the
Because,
line, CJ. I'm going to send you a copy of my book, Breaking Free from Broke, along with Every Dollar. That's our budgeting tool. And you and your wife tonight, you're going to lay out, here's our next paychecks, here's all of our expenses, here's our plan to make the most of every dollar.
Yeah, and we always caution against moving. I mean, honestly, because it's such a big expense. It's like one of the biggest things to uproot your family out of a home. But I would consider it's half of your income. And unless your main job, you're going to see significant raises in the next 1, 2, 3 years. If there's not, and it's looking pretty plateau, I mean, golly, that's an extra $2,000 if you get it under that 25%. That's an extra $2,000 a month that that you could save if you guys changed your housing situation, which I know that's a big ask.
But it changes the whole timeline.
It does.
And you guys can become homeowners again once we're not broke. But right now, with that 50% mortgage, it's eating your lunch and hurting your ability to pay down the debt. So hang on the line, CJ. We're going to get you those resources. We'll wish you guys the best with this debt payoff.
Hey guys, Dave Ramsey here. Every day on this show, we help people work through real money problems and figure out what to do next. Now, you can get that same kind of help anytime with Ask Ramsey. Ask your money question and get answers built on Ramsey principles we use on the show. Whether you're making a decision or just want something explained, Ask Ramsey is here to help. It's fast, simple, and free to use. Go to RamseySolutions.com and try Ask Ramsey today. That's RamseySolutions.com.
The Ramsey Show question of the day is brought to you by YRefi. You don't have to stay stuck in defaulted private student loans forever. YRefi helps borrowers take back control with affordable refinancing options that actually work. Learn more at yrefy.com/Ramsey. That's YREFY.com/Ramsey. Not available in all states.
Today's question comes from Lucy in Oregon. She said, I'm concerned about being a target of deed fraud if we pay off our mortgage. If we keep our current mortgage, the bank would have to notify us if someone tried to take out a second mortgage to steal our equity. We're both in our 70s. I am retired and my husband plans to retire soon. The balance on the mortgage is $48,000 and we have the funds to take out of our 401k to pay it off. What should we do?
Wow. Okay, well, I mean, deed fraud, it does exist, but I'm not going to be so paranoid that I keep my mortgage
around for
to
it.
do it.
Right. Because you can always, if God forbid that happened, it's not super common. More when you're like, buying homes, making sure the deed's, good. And I don't know, there's some things
we bought
you
a
can
home
do,
recently.
but
We got owner's title insurance, which protects you against that.
Yes.
And so if you're worried about it, I would look into one of those policies.
Yeah, to do
and
that.
And you can sign up with your county and get deed alerts as well. So that's also one way to protect against it.
Yeah, and you can also, if it did happen, God forbid, you're not going to be on the line for it because it's fraud. And so you can go through the bank and, maybe some, lawsuit stuff. But at the end of the day, you're not going to have to owe it because it's fraud at that point.
Yeah. So I wouldn't be so worried that I avoid paying my house off. That's wild. You're in your 70s. There's a much more risk with this mortgage hanging around than there is that you guys experience deed fraud.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about that. I would just pay it off and do your due diligence to stay protected. Freeze your credit, check the records with your county regularly, get the owner title insurance if you can, all of that good stuff. But it's a good question, and it's a valid concern. So thank you for that. Alan is in Colorado up next. What's going on, Alan?
Thank you for taking my call. I have a question about a 529 account that my wife and I have for our son. When he is finished with college, which is just a couple of years down the road, there'll be approximately $120,000 left in the 529 account.
Oh, wow.
Way to go.
I haven't. Yeah, it's pretty strong. I have an opinion on what to do with it, but I was just curious to get y'all's take.
How old is the 529? When did you open it?
Oh, boy. Our son is 20, so let's say 20 years ago.
Oh, great. I was going to say With the new Secure 2.0 Act, you can roll over up to $35,000 if it's been open for 15
Correct.
years. You know, you can use that periodically. You can't do all 35 at once, but up to the Roth IRA limit, you can start funding that. So that's one option.
Yeah. Do you have other kids, Alan?
No, we don't.
You don't. Okay. It's just this. Yeah. Well, if you do that, you know, that's 35 out. So you got about 85 or so, 95 left.
You said you had a plan already. I'm curious as to what you wanted to do.
So my thought is keep it. Keep the 529. We're the guardian of it. Put it in his name. He's an adult now. But don't let him touch it. Just have it be there so it's generational. You know, when his kids are ready to go to college, that's going to be a pretty large sum. When his kids' get ready to go to college, it'll be astronomical. It's something that you could really just leave.
That's true. A lot of people don't think
change,
about that.
just
It
let it
becomes
go.
like an endowment, basically, for your own family, generational wealth, that no one ever goes into debt for education. And that's personally what I'm doing. A lot of people go, well, I don't want to overfund it because what if they don't go to college? And I go, if I overfund it, they're going to love old great-great-grandpa George for setting up this 529 many moons ago. And can I do some math for you? Your kid is 20, right?
He's 20.
So let's say he has a kid at, 25? Is that fair?
It's optimistic, but sure. We'll shoot
Okay.
with it.
Should we go 30? Is that more realistic?
Go
Go 30.
Plus
Go 30.
18 years. So
Yeah,
that
so
kid
48.
then grows up.
Yeah. So your son will be 48 when your granddaughter goes to college, theoretically. How much would be in the account?
From 20 to 48, if you just left, let's say, $90,000 in there, right?
Didn't do anything.
You never contribute another
120.
dime. You'd have $1.4 million when he's 48. I hope that's enough to cover
generational.
college at that point.
And something, too, I was thinking is even if his kids don't want to go or do go and there's extra, at 65, correct me if I'm wrong, he can start using that for his own retirement with no penalties.
Yeah, there's a lot of stipulations with the 529. And even if he used it in before then, you'd pay the 10% penalty. But other than that, it's not like wasted money.
Yeah,
it's
you'll
just
pay some,
thrown down the toilet. So I think you're being very wise with this, and I love the idea of creating generational wealth. And a lot of people don't realize the definition of beneficiary family is pretty loose. And so siblings, nieces, nephews, future kids, yourself, your spouse, a grandchild, there's so many options here that you could bless someone with in your family.
Agreed. That's right.
And so let's say you got a brother and they're like, hey, they didn't prepare, but the kid doesn't deserve to go into crippling debt just because of that. I'd love to transfer this to them. You can change
Or
beneficiaries
some of it,
at any
right?
time.
At that point, yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can go with it.
Yes, for sure. Well done, Alan.
Yeah.
That's usually not. It's usually the opposite problem that we talk to people about. So
It's like a parent
very
plus
impressive.
loan. This is the exact
Yes.
opposite. So I'm curious, how much money did it cost for your kid to go through school?
So first off, something else too, we owe it to Dave Ramsey from like 2005. You all have been a blessing to both my wife and I. So much so we actually taught many FPU classes.
Thank you.
So yeah, you're welcome. You're welcome. So this 529 account, we actually showed him how compounding interest works. We stopped investing in the 529 when he was a freshman in college at 150. That's about where it was at. He's gone through 3 years of school, and it's at 159.
Wow.
it's crazy.
So you're telling me
That's
that it was
compounding
growing faster than you were withdrawing.
That's what I'm telling you.
That's incredible.
That's amazing.
And it sounds like he
Yeah,
went to a
absolutely.
reasonably priced school and maybe even got some other scholarships.
A few scholarships. He wasn't, he wasn't Albert Einstein, but he did okay. And yeah, it was a state school, so 20, 22,
Yeah.
23,000. Mhm.
Totally.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's the dream, Alan.
fantastic.
Well done. Well
Way
done. We
to go.
just applaud you. I mean, honestly, that is.
If you're in the family tree of Allen, you should be thankful right now.
That's right.
Pretty awesome. Thank you for the call. That's a cool kind of case study in what actually happens when you do it right.
Yes.
And so I always recommend get started early on that 529, even if it's $100, $200, 300, 400, 500. Now
Yeah.
you're talking six figures in there by the time they're 18.
For sure. And the college conversation, I feel like, has been around a little bit changing, right? That college is changing. We don't know what it's going to look like
Are we all going to
in
be YouTubers and AI is going to
10
do all the work
years,
for us?
Yeah, that's right. Like, we don't know. But just remember, it's not stuck in there. To your point, it's not like you're, it's an insane amount. If you were to pull it out, just say, like, God forbid, you're like, listen, we don't need this at all, but we need the cash, so we're going to take the penalty. Okay, so then you do that, right? And you pay some of the penalty, but then you have your cash. It's not like you lose it completely.
Absolutely.
So,
and people ask, well, what if I want to invest for my kid for something else other than school? I say, great, do the 529. Don't trade those dollars for investing over here.
Yep.
If you want to invest on top of that, you can just open a brokerage account in your name, a non-retirement account, and put money in there. I'm not a fan of putting the accounts in your kids' names because they legally then have access with the, the UGMA, UTMA. At 18, this kid might have $120,000 that's legally theirs.
Mm-hmm.
That's frightening. I don't know if you know, or any 18-year-olds, most of them cannot be trusted with a $120,000 pile of money. Most adults can't be trusted with that.
I was going to say, yeah.
And so I like the idea of me being able to control how much to give to that child for a wedding or a down payment or a car, whatever it is, to help them get a leg up.
Yeah, delayed gratification for a 45-year-old, 50-year-old, it's probably a little bit more embedded than a 18-year-old.
Yes,
so
they need to mature. Their prefrontal cortex is not yet fully there. So that's personally what I'm doing for my kids. I got the 529s for each of them, and I've got the brokerage accounts. So they'll be very thankful one day when homes are $4 million.
That's right. And your grandkids.
And my grandkids.
Great Uncle George.
That's so weird to think about. But I think Grandpa George, I'm going to settle into that.
I love it.
I'm going to be cranky,
you're going to be like George
senile.
Banks on... like Steve Martin on Follow the Bride.
Oh, that's a good one. I thought you were going George Bailey. A lot of good Georges out there in movies.
Oh, It's a Wonderful Life. That's a good one, too.
Our scripture of the day, Luke 14:11. For all those who exalt themselves will be humbled, and those who humble themselves will be exalted. C.S. Lewis said, humility is not thinking less of yourself, but thinking of yourself less. Poetry right there. That's good.
Great quote.
All right, let's go out to Dave in Denver. What's going on, Dave?
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me. I'm a loan officer for mortgages. My question is, I often get clients, and they come to me needing a mortgage. Most often it's older clients in this situation. And one spouse has passed away. I have access to their assets or see what they have, and it's a vulnerable situation. And really, they don't need a mortgage. What they need to do is sell some of their assets to get a home to downsize. I'm just looking for advice on how to bridge that gap with that and how to properly communicate that to them.
So you see this going to a dangerous place, and you're like, how do I help these people when my job is to lend them the money that they're approved for?
Yeah, and it's not overly dangerous sometimes, but they have one spouse maybe had their whole life collecting these assets, and so when I come along, I say, hey, maybe you should look at selling some of these. That's kind of my husband or whoever put all this together his whole life. Who are you to tell me to sell this kind of thing?
Yeah, you feel like, hey, that's outside the boundaries of my job, but it's like your heart is aching for them to be like, hey, you really need to go do these things.
Yeah, so I'm looking for words of wisdom on how to appropriately navigate that.
Well, I think you have the right heart. That's the most important part is your motive and your spirit and the tone in which you deliver this. But I think just starting with, hey, I want to make sure this house fits your life, not just your approval amount. And as I'm seeing it here, I can see the assets over here. I can see what the mortgage payment's going to be. I think things are going to be tight unless you make some moves, make some sacrifices here. And you could offer, hey, one recommendation you could pursue is selling these assets, which could do X, Y, Z.
Yeah.
And then it's not you telling them what they have to do. It's just saying, hey, I treat people how I want to be treated, and I can see all of your information here, and this is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, and it's kind of a, for them, take it or leave it kind of thing, but it's almost for your conscience, you're like, man, I see this, and I just want to say it out loud, but at the end of the day, they're going to be the ones, making the decision, and if they don't take that advice and they do something else, that's okay. That's, they're adults, and they can do that.
At least you're sleeping well at night, knowing that you said your piece.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm just trying to figure out how to spread the Dave Ramsey throughout my entire career.
Yeah, love it. I love it.
It's hard because you want to like, well, Dave says, but you can't do that. It's not going to work. And instead, you sort of get to the root of it. You say, hey, the families that I see thrive when it comes to buying a home, they have margin outside of their mortgage payment to live and to save and to have fun and go on vacations. And right now, what I'm seeing with your payment, it's going to be a lot of your income taken up by this payment. And so you can go, hey, here's the approval amount, but here would be let's run the numbers and see what would be a comfortable amount. And then you can kind of get to the principles without saying, well, Dave recommends 25% of your take-home pay on a 15-year fixed-rate mortgage. You know, they get to choose the wisdom at that point.
Yeah, Big Dave. I'm Little Dave. That's Big Dave.
Little Dave, Big Dave. I like it. That's true. It's
and
all
you know
Dave's
what,
all
Dave?
around.
I mean, honestly, it would be so impressive, and it would actually garner a lot of trust, I would think, from the people you're working for, because in some situations, I'm assuming, you're asking for them to pay less for a home, and that's money out of your pocket too, right? If they choose
less
that
loan,
option.
less origination fee, less commission, all of that.
Yeah, I mean, all of it. So there's something, I don't know, really trustworthy for you to say, because you're not doing it the other way to be like, hey, you should spend more here with me so I can make more. In some of these cases, it's the opposite. And so they shouldn't be offended by that, right? There's I don't know, a lot of kindness in you even doing that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
Absolutely. Thanks for
your
actually being, serving well and serving your customers well and being one of the good guys in the mortgage world. That's fantastic. Rachel, I've got a friend in the mortgage world, and he, knowing what I do, he's like, dude, you would not believe the debt-to-income ratios people show up with. You're like, this is bonkers. Like, no one should be giving them this loan. No. And sadly, a lot of the banks, you run it through the computer, and it goes, yep, give them the loan.
That's fine. Yep. We'll just do it.
And the bank doesn't always care about the reality of your financial situation.
Which is wild, because that's part of what got us into the biggest housing disaster in 2008 is because of that kind of stuff, too. Lending people money,
giving it
an amount
like
that they
candy.
shouldn't. I know.
Oof.
Keep on doing it, though.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
All right, let's go out to Brian in Alaska. Brian, what's up?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, sweet. So I am in an interesting situation where I actually live in my dad's second home, or my parents' second home here in Alaska, while my family lives out of state. And I'm curious. I feel like I'm getting a smoking good deal on rent here. I just rent a room, but it's way cheaper than I could rent anything else in the area. How long should I stay here, saving up for a house? How long should I let this good deal ride as long as they're willing to give it to me?
Yeah, it's a good question. How old are you?
I'm 28.
28, okay. Are you married?
Nope. Single.
Nope, single. Okay. Any debt? Consumer debt?
I owe $12,000 on an airplane. But that's in a leasing company that I own.
Okay. $12,000 on it. And is that it? No credit cards or car loans?
Nope.
Okay, great. And how much?
No credit card.
And how much do you make a year?
Last year, so I started a new job last year. In 6 months, I made about $55,000, and then this year, for the whole year, I guess it's about $120 to $140.
Good for you. Okay, and how much money do you have saved?
I currently only have like $3,000 saved.
Okay.
How long have you been living at
this
your dad's place?
So I've been living here about 3 years. I actually used to own half of it, and then I sold out my half to my stepmom. That paid off a lot of my debt, and was able to give me a down payment for this airplane that I lease out.
Okay, so this airplane, is this a business you have where you basically rent out the airplane?
Yep.
Okay, what do you make from that? Is that on top of your 140?
That's completely separate. So I make about $40 an hour every time it flies, and right now it's pretty much just all going back into the business for improvements for the airplane.
Got it.
Okay. I'm paying the principal for. I get a loan from a friend of mine, it's basically zero interest. That I pay the principal out of my personal funds, and then what the airplane makes just kind of gets circulated back into making improvements for the airplane.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so yeah, the whole living, with parents or on their property or whatever, for a period of time, I'm totally fine with it. I think after a while, there needs to be a point that you go and you're on your own and you're living, on your own, doing your own thing. So what worries me is, and I know you just got this job 6 months ago, you said, so I'm not going to harp on it too much, but you've had you said, I'm getting a great deal, all this, but you only got $3,000 saved. So there's a part of me that's like, if people have this idea, I'm going to go live really cheaply at my parents', but then they don't take what they would have paid in rent or more of what they're saving and actually save it. They end up spending it on restaurants and going on trips and stuff. And so then it ends up being this point of like, okay, you weren't using it actually to benefit yourself or to get you further financially. You were just using it for lifestyle in the moment. So if you're doing this, I want you to be really, really disciplined, and you make a great income. And so honestly, Brian, I mean, you're a single guy, you're living in Alaska and basically no rent. If you could live on, I don't know, 40 grand a year or something crazy, like you could bank so much money, not only pay off this airplane, but
you could have 6 figures saved up.
Yes.
By the end of the year, maybe into into 27.
Really quickly. And I would use that for a down payment on a home, because as soon as you can get something in your name, building equity, that's the best route for you, Brian. So I'm okay with it for a little bit, maybe a year or two, but I would be so disciplined in that to actually put that money in that savings towards your future and a future home for yourself.
I would just say, hey, Dad, I'm going to be out on my 30th birthday. And that's the plan. And you go, I'm going to save up like a madman until then. I'm going to live off $1,000 or $1,500 a month. And the other $6-7 grand is going to go into savings for that house. Build for your own future and independence, and you will not regret it. That puts this hour of The Ramsey Show in the books. Remember, there's ultimately only one way to financial peace, and that's to walk daily with the Prince of Peace, Christ Jesus.